I'm still looking for affordable British outline garden railway locomotives. What you will notice if you search the net is that there are people that are making body kits to enable you to produce British outline locos around the £129, £130 mark for the body. Hold on, I'll just make that light come back on again. And for a few of these, they suggest using the Otto chassis from an LGB loco. And they're suggesting that because they are quite commonly available. Well, I've managed to get hold of hopefully a couple of Otto chassis. One is on its way. This one has arrived. It's quite an old LGB starter set. This was about £130 plus £20 postage from eBay, which is about the right price because this is an old set. Although LGB is very expensive now, remember that, you know, if this goes back to what, the 80s, if the purchase had it since then they're probably selling it for about the same price as they paid for it, or maybe even more. That's the way it goes, isn't it? It's been quite nicely looked after. Here it is, still in its original box. It does have the older style transformer because the modern transformers have a separate mains transformer and controller there in one, but there's a UK plug attached, so it's certainly one that was made for the UK market. Yes, 240 volts input and a UK plug fitted. So it's a proper thing. You can get them from Germany with continental plugs. I have purchased an Otto loco from Germany, which is why it's not here yet. And again, partly for the chassis. Now that's a very fine example. It's quite well looked after. And although I don't want a Stein's loco, I'm tempted to keep it as it is, to run as it is, rather than hack. So there's two options with this. One is to just take the body off, take the motor pack out, and use the motor pack within a kit that you get from a UK manufacturer, and I could keep that so it could be reassembled. But an alternative that I'm considering is hacking this body about, adding my own plasticard bits to make it into more of a UK outline narrow gauge industrial locomotive. These are the basic ones, a lot lower cost than the Stein's locos with the other LGB sets, so there's less detail on them, but there is quite a reasonable amount of backhead detail inside the cab there, and so, you know, not a displeasing locomotive. This one comes with a front working headlight. I have run it, and an interior light inside, and it runs quite nicely. And looking at the wheels, it hasn't been used very much, and the wear on the pickups there, it's not been used too much. So not a bad buy, because you can never tell before you buy these things what condition they're going to be in and how much use they're going to have had. So that's quite pleasing to find this one. The vehicle models on the very basic sets are not to the same standard as on the other sets. That's quite a cheap, very lightweight, plasticky vehicle, just a representative of something. But you do get two stake wagons with it, and as you can see, a circle of track. So there's brass track in there So there's been a circle of track with this. And these are the standard LGB stake wagons. So nothing different in this set from the stake wagons with the much more expensive sets. What you will know in the more expensive sets is that the models that are included are better quality models made by some other toy manufacturer. So there we go, that's just a quick view of this thing, and I've looked online at some narrow gauge UK industrial locos, and basically if you squint and close your eyes you can see some similarities, and you can get some ideas of how this might be hacked. You can see the similarities in terms of door openings, differences in terms of bunkers. You don't see bunkers like that on UK ones, and you don't necessarily get the bells or the lights, but you do on some, because narrow gauge locos are quite different to mainline locos in terms of the styles and the look of them. But I now have to decide whether to hack, just take the motor out and go and spend another £120 on a body kit, or perhaps for this one, because it is in good condition, leave it as it is and just run it as it is, even though that's not what I'm looking for.